And welcome to this very special broadcast. We're breaking some really important news. US President Donald Trump has threatened to hike tariffs on India, saying India is not only buying massive amounts of Russian oil, but also selling it on the open market for big profits. Let's go across to my colleague Sajid to understand the implications of this threat. Sajid, over to you.
That's right. What Donald Trump is saying that India is importing a lot of crude from Russia, and that's what the data also suggests that for the period of April uh, 2025 to June, we saw roughly 34% of the total crude imports which India imported was from Russia. But equally, there has been a shift with respect to the kind of crude that we are importing from the US as well. In the Q1 or the first quarter of this financial year, we saw India sourcing nearly 85% of the total crude from the United States as well. On a demand point of view, India requires roughly around 4.8 to 5.4 million barrels of oil on a daily basis, and if you look at top suppliers for India would be Russia, followed by Iraq, then Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, US, Kuwait, Nigeria, and Angola. These are some of the countries which normally are the sources for India's crude imports. And in the past 2 years, especially after the Ukraine war, India has been sourcing a lot of crude from Russia. Primarily because crude has been cheaper for India. Russian crude comes to us with 2 to 3 barrels per day, 2 to 3 barrels, $2 to $3 of discount compared to a Brent, and that gives an advantage for India because India needs high source, increased source of crude, and also consistent and sustained supply of crude. And Russia being a strategic partner for India, India has been seeing from crude from Russia there. But of late, what has happened is that you have seen European Union as well as the United States putting curbs on Russia because they want the entire Russia Ukraine war to come to a pause, or to agree to a ceasefire. And can only happen when you can put pressure on Russia with respect to the kind of financing that goes into this war. And that's where China and India comes into play, because Russia supplies a lot of crude not only to India but also to China as well. And while US hasn't said anything about China sourcing crude from Russia, US has been indicating, especially Donald Trump has been indicating that there would be a lot of tariff on India, especially secondary tariff on India, because India sources a lot of crude from Russia there. So to give you a perspective, last year we imported crude worth $52 billion from and that gives us a kind of enormity of the kind of import dependency we have from Russia.